Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe and notification button. So today, at the request of one of my subscribers, yes, one, maybe a few people have asked me to do this before, we are going to do a quick little overview of my tattoos and what they mean to me. It's pretty personal, but I'm going to do it. I think that the people that watch me are close enough to me to understand and be supportive. I know they're supportive. So anyways, I'm going to start with my newest tattoo. We're going to try and figure out the best way to do this. So this, and maybe I'll insert a picture. It's a woman's hand with a diamond in her hand, and it says, "Diamonds are a girl's best friend." So this is a like a classic. This is a neoclassic tattoo. This whole arm will be neoclassic. It'll be all about girl power and all of those things. And people ask me, you know, what's your interest in this? Number one, I like and appreciate the design of the older tattoos. Two, I really was interested when one of my artists said, hey, it'd be really cool if you did an arm that was like, I've got multiple arms. So if I did an arm of neoclassic, and it was centered around girl power, because her and I talked a lot, and I talked to her about how important my, how I was raised, especially by my parents, about being self-sufficient. You know, not having to depend on other people to do things for you and things like that. So, you know, be a strong woman, strong female figure in what I thought would become my children's lives, although not going to cry yet. God did not bless us with children. Woo! Don't get this makeup messed up. It looks good. So, but a strong female figure in my nieces and nephews' lives is important to me. So it is all about girl power. Don't ever, ever, ever depend on somebody else to take care of you. Not that we all don't need our parents every now and then. I love you, Mama. But don't depend on anybody to take care of you or make you happy. Make yourself happy. All right. Woo! We hadn't even started talking about serious ones. My goodness, now I know why I haven't done this. Woo! Woo! Erica, need my fan. Where's my fan? Need to fan them tears away. Woo! Woo! All right, all right. Might have to put on my COVID mask. Might have to lift it up and hide myself. Woo, woo, woo. All right. Whoa, there one got away from me. One got away. All right. We are not going to do this the whole time. I'm going to insert a picture of the two bows that are on the back of my feet. Back of my legs. And those are just for me. I just, you know, there's not really any meaning behind them. Other than they're girly, they've got leopard print in them, and leopard has been my thing for many, many years. Yeah, I am known to take things to the extreme and be kind of out there, and you know what? That's all right. That's me. It's I got a big personality. Yeah. So those were, you know, actually. I started thinking about those like on a Thursday night. Saturday I was getting them. Laura was putting them on me. So, woo! Alright. So let's go on. I'll post a picture on the back of my neck. I have angel wings. They start out with wings, and at the bottom it's the bottom of the wings. They transition into flowers. Cotton blossom flowers. Because my father grew up in a family of one of 15, and they were were sharecroppers. And you didn't pick cotton, you didn't eat. My father taught me to be a hard worker, to be dedicated and loyal, and love what I do and what I do represents. And that has stuck with me all my life. Woo! No waterworks. Okay. So you'll see a lot of places on my body I have dogwood flowers, which was his favorite flower, or cotton blossoms, because they represent how he grew up and where we came from. Because life could have chosen a different path for my family and we could still be in Mississippi picking cotton. All right. Tops of my feet. Every one of my tattoos means something. I'm not going to put anything on my body that doesn't mean something to me. On my right foot is an anchor and flowers and a bee, and it says family. A year ago yesterday, my mother-in-law passed away, and 6 days later, my father-in-law passed away. And I wanted to do something for them. They were big water people. The anchor, and my mother-in-law loved flowers and gardening and things like that. She didn't always do it, but she appreciated it. And, you know, it represents what that side of my family means to me. That they also have taught me a lot. Woo! Woo! So Matt and I started dating in April, and my father passed in December. And I've been with him and his family ever since. Okay. Ooh, who knew this was going to be so tough? Okay. My other foot, my left foot, oh, it's just a phrase and a bird. And so when I was 19 maybe, 19. Let me think how old I was. Wow, I was 20. I was 20. Okay, and when I was 20 years old, actually when I was 19, I'd always been sick all my life. With some very serious chronic problems. But when I was 19, I got a GI bleed. It was very dangerous. I waited a long time to go to the hospital because I'm a fool. I think I know. You think you know everything when you're 19. You don't. So, anyways, went to the hospital. Hard on my family. They told them I only had a 50-50 shot of making it through this. And, of course, I survived that, and because I'm a fighter. But it led me to a liver transplant. Actually, 2 liver transplants that following June. And survived both of those. And ironically, when my father passed, about 2 years, 3 months later, something like that. Whew, but 2 years, 6 months later, actually. He had a liver transplant, and in the time they found a small cancerous spot on his liver, did not realize that it had then spread to his lungs, and he passed away, like I said. So, me and my father have strange connections like that. So, you know, when you're sick like that, and bad things just keep happening, you tend to ask yourself, why me? You know? And I've always told myself that it's because God doesn't give you anything more than he knows you can handle. And he knew I could handle all this. Yeah. Dang, this is tough. So as you can see, my tattoos mean a lot to me. So anyways, back to my left foot. Thank God Erica sent me this fan. I don't think this was what she meant it for, but it sure is coming in handy right now. So on the top of my foot there, it just says, God gives his toughest problems to his strongest soldiers. So, and I believe that. All right. We are going to start on my left arm, which is the arm I started first. And I will insert the pictures because I know you're not going to get a good look. This is a little sugar skull elephant. It was the first tattoo I got. Everybody's like, you went right to your inner wrist on a tattoo. Crazy. I didn't know any better, right? I didn't know. I walked in and talked to the guy. He'd come recommended from a good friend of mine, Dina. And he was like, come back in 2 hours. I was like, ah! So I just went all in. That is for my father. We both had a love of animals. All kinds of animals, you know. We had everything growing up, you know. All but cats. I think my sister or brother was allergic to cats. Somebody was allergic to cats. Or my mom didn't want to deal with a kitty litter box. But, you know, we had rabbits and turtles and dogs and hamsters and just all kinds of stuff. And grew up around animals because my father was raised around animals, right? So, you know, when we went to visit family, animals. So, one of my favorite animals is elephants. If you know anything about me, you know I'm a lover of elephants. So, this is for my daddy. It says, rest in peace. So, the next thing I did, I think, was my bee. And with the crown. Well, like I've mentioned, he taught me to be strong. Not let anybody take advantage of me. So I am a queen bee. And that could mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. And depending on my mood, it means a lot of different things. So, at that same time, I put love, strength, and courage on my arm. All the things that, all the qualities and so forth that I watched him have that I knew I wanted to be like. I wanted to be that same person. So, yeah. I have my Hamsa with the evil eye in it, and this protects me against all evil spirits. You know, I tend to live my life not giving a shit what people think. I'm gonna do me. Life's short. Do you, and the people that love you will love you no matter what. And the people that want to hate on you will hate on you no matter what. So this was just symbolic for me. That I don't have my daddy here to have my back. But for me, symbolically, he's here. See, I told y'all about making me cry. Alright, this thing right here, it's a little locket with a key. And it says, he loved me first. For my dad. Of course he loved me first. The first man to love me. Then I have this mandala sign on my hand. And I just like the way it went with everything else. It wasn't really a reason behind that. And then I have a lot of filler and gems. I've got different kinds of flowers on my arm and different gemstones, and they just represent my family. So it's either their birth flower or their birth stone. my little grapes, you know. Those are special. And Laura, my wonderful color girl, thought of those. And then lastly, my upper arm piece is a Day of the Dead angel. And my intent was that she would be kind of over top of my father's headstone, but we just ran out of some room. She's beautiful, her wings go around, and then there's just flowers, and then of course my filler. And then here I have Psalm 23 verse 4. So I think everybody just about knows that, but I'll tell you, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I feel no evil. I fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff comfort me. And that's for my dad too. So I have one last tattoo, and it's probably the most confusing for most people, knowing that this arm is about my dad. And this is a famous artist. Didn't do it on me. Jonathan did it, of course, because he's fabulous. He is just a fabulous gray, black, and white artist. He just doesn't do color. So, but he did this piece, and I know he was hesitant because he wasn't sure what he wanted to do, but he bit on. And I'll have a better picture of that where I'm not, it's upside down, obviously, but it's lips, and it's biting on a diamond. And, you know, I read a lot about what diamonds represented and so forth. So when I saw this piece, I was like, that is totally it. Totally, totally, totally. Because my father taught me to be tough. Tough on me, tough on other people, tough. You know, life's not easy, and you gotta be a big girl. You gotta be a big girl, Susie. That's what he used to tell me. You gotta be a big girl. You know, I was never allowed to cry about being sick or, just not really anything. I mean, it just, it was probably the best thing he ever taught me. Now I'm crying like a baby. He'd tell me to stop. He'd say, stop feeling sorry for yourself. I'm really not feeling sorry for myself. I'm crying because I miss him terribly. Every day. I wonder if, you know, would he be proud of the person I became? And, you know, I was just a kid when I lost him. It was tough. But even then, I knew he would tell me to be strong, be there for your mom. And I did. I was. And I wouldn't have had it any other way. All right. No more crying. So, you guys messed up my makeup. I'll fix it up when I stop weeping. Sorry, I get very emotional about my father and about my family and all of that. So, I'll tell you a story. I'm going to tell you a story, and then we are going to get off here because I cannot, this is more tears than any one person should have in a day. So when my father was sick and in the hospital, and we knew that he wasn't going to make it, I was offered the opportunity at work to go to Europe. And my boss, he was like, he said, I don't want to not ask you to go because I don't want you to think I don't want you to go. He said, but I understand everything that's going on with Daddy. And I was like, yeah. I said, I don't think I can leave my mom right now. And, you know, I want to, what if something happens to Dad? And so my dad was in the hospital at the time because he was in and out quite frequently. And I went to see him every day after work. And he, as always, you know, I'd walk in the door and he'd, hey, there's my Susie. And so he asked me how my day went. He always asked me how my day went. And, you know, what did I learn today? Or who did I get to meet? Or, you know, he was really interested in it. Lifelong adult-wise civil servant. My father worked as a civilian employee and supported troops and soldiers his whole life, as did my mother. So, you know, strong connection to the Army. And so I told him, you know, I had a great day, that they were getting ready to take a trip to Europe, and I was telling him what that was about, and he was like, oh gosh, Susie, that's so interesting. He said, did they ask you to go? And I said, well, Mr. Cole told me they were going, and I was more than welcome to go, but he knew that, you know, you're not well. And he said, you're going. I said, Dad, I don't think I should go right now. There'll be other opportunities. And he said, you're going. He said, I want to know that you have been to Europe. I had not been to Europe yet. I'd been to Panama, some places in South America. I said, Dad, you know, come on. He said, no, I want you to go, and I want you to send me a beautiful postcard. I said, all right. So we got there on a I want to say we got there on a Sunday. Like that following Sunday we left. And it was, I felt weird all week. I couldn't settle down. I was on edge. Which, even when things were bothering me, was not me. I was fighting with my boss. I never fought with him. He was a blessing in my life, and has taken care of me ever since, by the way. You know, just been my biggest supporter at work, you know. So, anyways, that's following Saturday, we went out because it was, you know, it's boring to kind of just sit in your room, and there's so much to see in Germany, and we happened to be in Heidelberg, and very close to France, to Strasbourg, France, and so we were like, hey, let's just go to France for a day and stop at some castles and some churches, some famous ones. And I remember getting to France, and I said, I got to go get Daddy a postcard. I want to give him a postcard from Germany and from France. And but I wanted it postmarked from France, so I had to go get it, write it, send it. And I think the Friday before that, I had sent the one from Germany. So it was a really weird day. It was, I swear I was arguing with everybody. I was like, just being such a brat. So we finally got back, and we were going to meet downstairs for dinner. And I was getting cleaned up, and the phone rang. And I was like, I wonder who's calling me, you know. Weird. They know I'm coming downstairs for dinner. And back then it was very expensive to call Europe. And I answered the phone, and it was my mom. I said, hi, Mom. You know, guess what we did today? And she said, baby, I need you to get your stuff together. I need you to come home. What's wrong with Dad? She said, he's taking a turn. I want you to come home. I said, okay. I ran right down to the dining room. We were staying in a guest house that had a restaurant there. And I told my boss, who I loved, and I, like I said, still love him. I said, Mr. C, I said, I need to go home. Dad's getting worse. I don't want him to go without me. And he said, Susan, you have to wait till the morning. I said, I can't wait. I want to go home. And I didn't understand that the only flight that would get me there at the earliest was in the morning. To go at night, I had gone through God knows where and back. So I don't remember from that point. The next thing I remember is sitting at the gate at Frankfurt to get on the plane. And somebody took me there. Somebody we worked with that I didn't know very well. But he took me there and he stayed with me until the plane took off. Well, I didn't know he had told the flight attendants what was going on. God bless them. They put me on the back of the plane, set up like a little sleeping area. And I had juice and sodas and snacks and all of that. It was an 8-hour flight home. And they gave me something to take. To this day, I don't know what it was, but I slept the whole way home. And when I got off the plane, my brother was there waiting for me. And I said, is he gone? He said, no, Susan, he's awake. I'm going to take you straight to the hospital. I was like, okay. So he took me there. And I walked in, and my dad's doctor was my liver doctor, Dr. Barkin. And Dr. Barkin said, oh, look who's here to see you. Somebody's here to see you. And my dad looked at me and he said, that's not somebody, that's my Susie. And that was the last thing he said to me. The doctors told us to go home that night, and they would call if things got worse. And about 4 o'clock in the morning, the phone rang. And as soon as we got there, and we all got near him and around him and told him it was okay, we were there, he passed. And to this day, I really believe he was waiting for me. He was waiting for me to come. So, God, that's horrible. It's a horrible thing to tell you guys, but it has hung with me for so many years about how all of that happened, and you know, that I thought he waited for me and everything. It's just yeah. Wow. Ooh! So as you can tell, at age 45, getting ready to be age, what year is it? No, I'm 46. I'm getting ready to be 47. I am still a daddy's little girl at heart. And the fact that I didn't start getting tattoos till like 2 years ago. And all I ever wanted to do was do something either about what he taught me to be in love, or about him and my family, you know. Now, I haven't done a particular piece for my mom. She is on this arm a couple of times with flowers and birthstones, but I am going to do something for her, and it's going to be extra special, because me and my daddy ain't the only survivors in this family. So my camera cut off. Anyway, so I have a plan for more, and they even have more greater meeting. not greater than my father, but you know, they all have meaning. And that is my tattoos, and I will keep this updated as I continue to get them. And I love you guys so, so much. And I appreciate you asking me to do this because it reminds me of everything this means to me. All right, you guys, I love you, love you, love you, and I'll see you next time. Mwah.